Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Eric, and today we're going to be covering an easier topic. It'll be a little bit faster today. Hydration, or water. How much we need, how much might be too much, how much might not be enough, and we'll also probably cover hydrophobia, if you've ever heard of that, but we'll cover it. So first I'll recap how much of us is made out of water. So it's roughly around 60 to 70%. And it really is dictated upon how much water you are drinking. But when you do not drink enough water, or as much as you need, that percentage will go lower because, well, you're not drinking enough. Or maybe you are, maybe you're drinking as much as you feel is necessary. But then that higher end of the spectrum, 70%, is when you are drinking as much as you might need, or maybe even drinking a little too much. Your body will always keep its homeostasis, or its natural balance, by either rejecting the water or by almost demanding it. So your mouth goes dry, like mine is right now. You're going to feel either tired, fatigued. You're going to feel almost like you have a lack of a quenched thirst. Or did I say that right? You're going to be thirsty. And so that's why we drink water, to make sure that we have that thing settled, or that thing that we need taken care of. But also, it can also have something to do with the diet and nutrition of you. If you find that you're drinking a lot of water, but you're still not satisfied, or you feel like you're lacking something, it's probably because you are. We're going to actually go into more depth in the diet and nutrition video. That'll be next time. It's going to be a lot longer. It's going to be a lot more complex because there's a lot to talk about, like a lot to talk about. And it's going to include a lot of stuff that is more personal experience to me as opposed to professional experience. I actually applied some of my personal experiences with my lactose intolerance and celiac with some of my clients. It wasn't necessarily completely in my scope, but dietitians, that's an interesting scope, because I've personally worked with a dietitian before, and it was not a good experience. And doctors, for example, aren't registered dietitians or nutritionists. That title, nutritionist, or someone who's certified with a background in nutrition, they're technically speaking less qualified than a dietitian. Dietitians can actually prescribe food to another person, but we'll get into that in the next video. They're not the best specialists for what they should be good at, which is sad. Most of them are not. You know what? I can't even generalize it by saying most of them, because I don't actually know. I'm not in that field. I would say that probably a good amount, almost like personal trainers. And it's probably due to the schooling and the fact that it's a new science. So it's not like it's accredited or like a doctor degree or anything. It still needs to be worked on, but it's still not something that we've completely figured out. We're still learning, to put it that way. So to get back to the 60 to 70% thing, our body has around 5 liters or 10 pints of blood circulating through us, and that's 7% of our mass, or around that. So that percentage can go up and down, but not by much, because that's a regulated amount, which means our brain, heart, lungs, digestive system, muscles, and joints might feel better when we drink some water. A better circulation allows for literally increased fluidity, which is true. We will increase our fluid intake, and by that also increasing the amount of fluid in us. Now, obviously, as we drink that fluid, not all of it is going to be utilized for that means, but a lot of it will be, which is why we have to drink water throughout the day. So how much water should we drink per day? Around 1 to 3 liters, or around 8 to 12 glasses. Now, that number will look different for someone who is taller and for someone who is shorter. I don't actually think the amount matters too much. Well, it probably does for someone who's bigger, like in terms of fat or maybe even muscle. I guess with muscle, you are technically burning more energy, you're moving, you could move more, and so that means you would need more water. So that then leads me into what we need to balance out our hydration. So diet, but we'll get into that next time. Movement or physical activity. We've already covered quite a bit of it, but we're going to get into the more advanced details in the future. And just some like weather conditions, for example. So when it's colder out, you're not going to sweat as much. In fact, you're going to shiver to retain heat, and the water actually helps to allow for that. So we would utilize our body's mechanics to maintain heat. And then for the other side of that spectrum, for heat, we would sweat to cool us down. That would then require us to drink more water. So in the summertime, you usually need more water. And then this number differs for everyone, especially depending on our height, physical activity level, etc. Oh, that was for the last point. I missed it. But it's true. 4. So why should you drink more water than anything else? It's like breathing. Air is better for you. So rather than breathing in gas or anything like that, it's better for you. So it's also better for you than pop, than Gatorade, or any other type of, or orange juice, apple juice, anything with added sugar. Yes, you can hand squeeze the orange and it'd be way better for you than the stuff that you'd get at the store. But realistically, drinking water is what we aim to do. We need water in order to thrive and survive and to properly digest foods. If we have sugar in our water, basically, that actually makes digestion harder, because now your body's like, oh, look, simple sugars. Let's digest that first before we digest the foods that you've just eaten. So having a pop with your meal it's a recipe for gaining weight. So if you do drink sugary waters or anything like that with your dinner, stop. That is what is causing your weight gain or making it hard to lose weight. These sugary waters, pop and everything like that, they are not helping our the problem of weight, I can put that better. The overweight problem in our society. It's mostly an American problem. They don't have that problem much in Europe. In Canada, it's not bad, I don't think. Anyways, the numbers might be different now since I was in school, but they're getting up there. And it's due to lack of movement and sugar intake. So just keep that in mind. When you put sugar in the thing that should be plain water, you're just creating a recipe for disaster. I said this video is going to be shorter, but who knows after me rambling so much. All right, well, this next part's really, really easy. What should you do if you're feeling tired? Drink water. Unless you're going to sleep, but still, you might want to drink water before you go to sleep too, just so that you don't wake up in the middle of the night. You're not like, oh, my throat's so dry. Oh, I need a drink of water. You might need to go to the washroom, but that, in my opinion anyways, is better than having to, or waking up with a dry mouth. I don't know. That's my personal opinion anyways. And it's technically healthier to drink water even before you go to sleep. You'll need it after too, but we're asleep for 8 hours or 6 to 8 hours. So I mean, leave it up to your discretion. I'll leave that up to you. What should you do if your mouth is dry? I already said this. Drink water. 7. What should you do when you're drinking water? Drink more water. I mean, okay, yeah, sure. I wouldn't recommend drinking too much water because I already mentioned it in a previous video. Overhydration is when you drink too much water and your body will reject it. You will literally vomit it up. If you were to do it at a slow enough pace. So if you were drinking too much water and you don't stop, then what could happen is your body could try to absorb that water and you'll create problems for yourself in the future. Like you might be fatigued, dizzy, tired, brain fog. Unless you're balancing it out properly with the foods. That's if you were not balancing it out. But if you were balancing it out, you can create another set of issues, which it can become a complicated thing to figure out. And then How often should we drink water? So around every 10 minutes to every hour. You could probably get away with after, but you have to keep in mind that water is technically speaking more important than food when it comes to requirements of our needs. So we need more water, we need, or I should say, we need water more than we need food, because we can technically survive longer without food, but it's not to say that we don't need both. We need both. But water is that thing that you'd want to be stuck in the desert with, not food. Obviously, we can focus on other things through our day other than drinking water, but it really helps to carry water with you wherever you go, so create that habit. So just think, back 100, 200 years ago, maybe 500 years ago, we'd be traveling on foot, and if we didn't have water with us, we'd be dead. Unless we got lucky and found a village or found a stream that was water, or a village that has water. If you don't have water, you will probably die. 9. What are some other perks to drinking water? Not dying of dehydration and staying awake. So I think those go pretty hand in hand. Usually if you're tired in the middle of your day and you haven't had any water, drinking water will almost immediately cure that problem. Unless you're also malnutrition or malnourished, then that'll also create another set of problems, but we're just talking about water today. And then no, but seriously, so what are some other perks? So it actually helps with your temperature regulation. So if you find that you're overheating, drinking water should help with that. And if you find that you're cold and you're drinking a lot of water, stop drinking so much water. Or maybe you're just not eating enough salt, because salt actually helps to retain the water. But who knows, maybe you're just overdoing it on everything, who knows. Better immune response, because you're actually assisting your body in maintaining that fluid control. And when you're sick especially, you need fluids, because you're constantly either rejecting the fluids or your body is constantly urinating. Maybe you have diarrhea because you might have the flu. You need to maintain your fluid intake in order to see a better recovery rate. Kidney stone prevention. So if you're not drinking enough water and you're eating, let's say, a lot of protein, well, I mean, if you eat too much protein in the first place, even if you have good water intake, you'll probably still get kidney stones, because we can only digest so much protein. And I always hear bodybuilders say you should have a gram of protein per body weight. That's not completely accurate. That number is a little bit less, and I'm actually going to research it to make sure that I give you the proper number. But so long as you get about, I think it's 50 to 100 grams of protein on your workout days, maybe even on your off days, then you'll see good results. But don't overthink it, because when you overthink something like this and you create an obsessive habit of thinking too much and then just doing too much, eating too much of a certain thing, you're going to gain a problem from it. And by eating too much protein, any extra protein that you do not properly digest will go into your urine. It's in your pee. You'll actually notice that your pee will become more yellow, as opposed to eating the right amount. And so if you eat too much, your urine will, well, you'll get kidney stones. Less headaches. So yeah, less headaches, because it helps with that nice squishy brain, because it's wet, right? Clearer mind. So again, the brain. And general improved health. So you'll just feel better. So that's why water is important. Now I'm going to talk about hydrophobia, because actually one of my friends didn't know what that was, and I had to tell them that hydrophobia is a side effect, it's usually when it's too late too, which is kind of scary, of rabies. And so rabies, you can usually, raccoons are carriers of rabies, and so if you're near a rabid raccoon and it scratches you, get it fixed. And a rabid raccoon usually looks like it's aggressive. It will attack you. There's usually no fear. And well, they're not in control of themselves anymore, that they need to be put down. And so if you see that, go the other way, but also call animal control, maybe even the cops. I learned recently that that police officers don't like being called cops. So police officers, call the police officers. I'll read the definition that I have here. Rabies, an irrational and abnormal fear and or inability to ingest / be near water without completely rejecting it. So when a raccoon is rabid, they do not take in water. So really their body is going into shutdown mode. They will die eventually, but it's better to get someone to make sure that they're put down properly without infecting anyone else or hurting anyone else. It's a scary one, but it's something that can definitely be prevented and taken care of with a rabies shot if found and taken care of as soon as possible. So once you actually get to the hydrophobia stage, that's when it is too late. Now, I might be wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong with this one, because I've heard of a few cases, but I've never seen them, and I hope I never do. So at the hydrophobia stage, it usually means it's too late, so it's fatal. So always get treated by a medical professional after getting bitten or scratched by an animal. So just be safe on every premise. Whenever you are scratched or bitten by any animal, get checked out, because rabies is nothing to take, or you shouldn't just forget about it. That would be your first mistake. So today was a very easy topic. Hydration, it's important. Drink water, you'll be better. Drink too much water and you might feel tired. Well, actually, foggy brained, not really tired, just out of it. And you might also throw up the water. So don't drink too much water all at once. It's not good. And next time we're going to talk about diet. It's going to be a lot more, I wouldn't even say it would be in depth, but I guess it'll be layman's terms in depth. Leave a comment in the comment section if you have any questions or concerns. Like the video if you like the video, and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Take care of yourselves.